Alex, so tell us what's happening there at the embassy at this moment.
So right now, there's a rally outside. There's both the opposition and the Embassy Protection Collective, which has been there for almost 2 weeks, a little bit over 2 weeks now. And it's been a very intense day. Obviously, everything that's going on in Venezuela right now seems to have emboldened the opposition. They have not showed out in numbers like this prior to today. But they are continuing their kind of aggressive tactics. We've had some people come by the embassy who have attempted to lock us in the building. One woman propped up a chair against the door that you're looking at right now, and used a telephone wire to lock us inside. That was unsuccessful. And she's been, shoving people. But today, what I've seen outside is an equal level of aggression. I've seen people, I've been inside and I've been filming from up top, and people have been telling me to jump out of the building. They've been giving me the middle finger, and so on. I have a friend who's also a reporter who was called sexist slurs by members of the opposition. So right now inside, there are activists in here. There's also activists outside that are members of the Embassy Collective. But the people in here are holding it down at the invitation of the Venezuelan government. Jorge Ariaza, the foreign minister, actually said that he was honored by the people who are here. And there could be a raid any minute. We don't know when it's going to happen. There's some suspicion that it's going to happen today in order to embolden Juan Guaido and give him something to go back to his people and say that he accomplished. But we really don't know. But there are people who are willing to be arrested and are proud of what they're doing in defending the sovereignty of the Venezuelan embassy, which is protected by Article 22 of the Vienna Convention.
Now, Alex, could you tell us a bit about who is there supporting the embassy and how long you've been there and what the Embassy Collective protection has looked like?
So far, I've been here since Wednesday. There's three main groups that are doing this. That would be Code Pink. It's a women's-led anti-war group. There's Popular Resistance, which has done a number of protests over the years in Washington, D.C. and other places, a progressive group. And then there's Answer Coalition, which is they have chapters all over the country. And those are the three main groups. Every night there's been events. So we had John Kiriakou, who is the former CIA officer who blew the whistle off of the agency's torture program. He gave an insider's perspective on CIA coups. We've had musicians, we've had people, Black organizers in DC who have come to talk about the intersections of struggles between the Black community in DC and the people of Venezuela. So there have been events every night. There's also been most days rallies outside just to keep the momentum going, and so on. It's very organized here. It's been very democratic. There are some leaders that have a lot of experience in DC organizing, but everybody gets a chance to have their say. And the meetings that go on every night, sometimes those can go on for 2 hours even. So it's very democratic. There's been people cooking for everybody. A lot of donations have come in. And everybody's been cleaning up after themselves in order to not give Guaido's people any way to say, oh, these people were vandals or anything. Everyone's taking very good care of the embassy.
And how did you receive the news of what was happening today? Some fake news going over the taking of a military base, and how are people inside the embassy reacting to that?
Well, I think it kind of reassures people in what they're doing, because I woke up and I saw it on Twitter, but everybody's been aware of it, and it reassures them in what they're doing, because they understand that once you bring in and try to invoke a military coup, you're calling for violence, and you're instigating a situation that could cause a lot of bloodshed. And I think that that's what people here are against. People are against the sanctions, which have killed 40,000 people since Trump's been in office. People are against U.S. military intervention and U.S. Covert intervention through the CIA and other means. Again, today, a CIA plane went into Venezuela again. They were caught doing that. So people here, there are some people who are very supportive of the government. There are some people who don't really know much and don't really care. But what they're against is the idea that the U.S. has the authority to unilaterally declare the government of a sovereign country. And as American citizens who are supposed to be represented by the American government, they're taking a stand against that.
Now, Alex, how do people feel there about the risk of arrest for participating in this event?
Well, it's customary in DC. It's not always the case, and in fact, I've been arrested in DC without warning. But it's customary for the police to give a warning. So there are organized groups of people who are willing to engage at varying levels. There are a group of people who are prepared to be arrested and spend some time in jail. But there's also a group of people who are willing to stay inside and film as long as they can, and basically until the police are really ready to arrest them. And then there's a group of people who, as soon as the police come in and say you guys need to get out, they're going to leave. But it's all a very democratic process. It's very organized. There's been de-escalation training in order to make sure that there's nobody provoking the police or causing a situation that's unwanted. So that's what it looks like. I'm unclear on the numbers of how many exist in each group, but it's very clear to me that a large number of people are prepared to be arrested for this cause.